if you're gonna play OTB tournament, then you need to train like this, yes? Of course, the first move that comes to mind is something like rook takes f8 or bishop takes e7. The solution is actually quite simple. You see, like some of these puzzles, even though they kind of rated, according to the author, they rated 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, some of them just easy, but still I'm gonna put them on the board, so getting used to like real board, because when you play online it's completely different. So the solution is rook takes f8, king takes f8, bishop e7. I think you can see the board quite well, yes, so I don't even need to put it on the electronic board, but I will show you that. So black needs to take, and then rook takes g7, and whatever black plays, king d8, e8, f8. If king f8, then rook f7 and knight f6. If king e8, then knight f6. If king d8, then e7 and knight f6. So it is like this. By the way, let's check the solution. So the solution is rook f8, king f8, takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. Next puzzle, 5 stars. White to move. The only difficulty, yes, the only problem is to set up the position, but so for example, nowadays when I make some preparation, of course it's not like I'm gonna win the tournament, but like to have a better result, why not? I make some preparation, and I have a friend here who set up the position, so I just solve. But on the stream, okay, I do it I do it myself. No, I mean not this one. However, the solution in this one is quite simple. I think bishop h5. So this is, but this is interesting. If the solution is bishop takes h5, then why does this puzzle have 5 stars? Yeah, this is a good question. But I mean, of course the solution is bishop takes h5, since what else? So, okay, bishop takes h5, gh5, rook h g1, king e8. If I play rook g8 straight away, king d7. King d7, rook takes d8, queen takes d8, or king takes d8, doesn't matter, rook g8 in both cases. Then we have queen e7. And how do I finish him? I can play knight c5 check, king d6, and then maybe something like what? Queen a3 or queen b4, maybe queen a3. This looks good. Yeah, bishop h5, gh5, rook g1, king e8. Knight c5 might be interesting, but then queen d6, so rook g8. Always we should go in the most like straightforward way. So rook takes d8. Doesn't matter, king d8 or queen d8. Now we go for rook g8. So if queen g8, then knight f6, queen e7 is forced. Now I think knight c5 makes sense. King d6. And here it is either like e4, there is bishop d4, maybe not so clear. I like queen a3 move. Queen a3 just like charging this battery. So let's check. So bishop h5, gh5, rook g8. Yes, if queen d8, then it is just the same. Rook b8. Here there is an option of adding stockfish. Rook b8 is the only winning move. I mean, there is also knight e4 repetition, but rook b8 is the only winning move. Queen a3. Rook c8. Rook c8. And that, that's why we play rook b8. But this is already not so important. And this is, by the way, why this puzzle is 5 stars. So the guy who wrote that he solved that, I guess you did it wrong. I mean, if we talk about clear and pure solution. But I think, generally speaking, it's enough to calculate till this moment. This is actually what I gave in my courses. A typical story: if you sacrifice something, and then if you have a perpetual check, then it's good enough. You can go for that, especially since bishop h5 such a tempting option. So you go for that, and then you have a perpetual check, knight e4, knight c5, and you look for the next stage, for the next step. Yes, because if we talk about time management, and if you try to calculate everything as deep as possible, you may find yourself like losing on time. Just 3 stars, but not so clear actually. Okay, I mean, it's clear that the only active option is rook takes c5 or rook e6. Yeah, there are only 2 moves, in fact. I just realized I was like, of course, first move that comes to mind is rook c5, but I was not sure about, like, I mean, any capture, rook e6 and queen takes c3, and I realized that the queen is defending the pawn. So then the solution is more or less simple, just rook takes c5. Any capture, for example, like this, like if dc5, we play rook e6, queen f7, and maybe queen e5, followed by queen takes c7. Maybe black is going to play rook a7 there, but we can do maybe rook c6 there. So just, or maybe bishop d7. So black is just paralyzed. If bc5, then I think we still need to play rook e6 first, queen f7, then bishop c6. And it's either the pawn goes or queen b1, queen b8. Oh, rook b6 is nice. And here, bishop c6. And, yes, after rook a6, we cannot play queen b1 immediately because of rook c6. So that's why queen e2 attacking the rook in this way. And white is winning. This is 3-star position. White to move. So it looks like everything is Correct. Yes, just another reason I don't want to take all puzzles from one book is very simple. Maybe some of you have this book or going to buy this book, or like somebody who gonna watch the stream. So that's why, and I have enough books, so I'm gonna, like, next one will be also by another Serbian player, Tadic Branka, similar story but from the Endgame. Also, I have a book by Adams, Think Like Somebody, like GM maybe, don't remember. So I'm just gonna take little bit from here, little bit from there. Yeah, we just started, so 20 minutes already I'm solving from this one, maybe 10 more minutes from this one, and then changing a book. So here it is white to move and 3 stars. Of course, it's like something immediately comes to mind is that black king should be checkmated. Like maybe rook d7, queen d7, rook h3. Probably that's it. Of course, after rook d7, we should also check f takes e3, rook c7, e takes f2, but king f1, everything is fine, so nothing to worry about. After rook d7, there are no alternatives by black. Queen d7, rook h3. Black would be forced to play queen h3, then queen takes h3, or even g takes h3, and the position should be winning for white. Just before playing rook d7, let's check if there are any other options. Like, for example, queen h7 doesn't work because of like king h7, and the h3 square is under control by the bishop. Queen g6 would be a nice idea, yes, but it also doesn't work. So I think, I don't know, rook d7, rook h3, probably. Yeah, this is what I didn't say, but of course after h6 my plan was to go for bishop takes h6. It was, I mean, it was obvious. And the rest is not really important. I mean, to play rook d7, queen d7, rook h3, h6, bishop h6 is enough to play that. So, okay, this one is 4 stars. Yes, you see, complex. It's just actually, you know, being an after, you have to make a decision. How do you feel that? So, like, it's not so important for us how many stars. Like 3, 4, 5. It's good enough to solve, and we solve. So white to move, the queen on g7 is hanging, the queen on d8 is hanging, everything is hanging. And what you need to know when everything is hanging, you should look for some crazy moves. Yeah, so it can easily be something just crazy. However, at the moment I don't see anything crazy. Okay, I see. I see. That was actually one of my first candidates, g4. And this is exactly what I just told you. If the position is crazy, crazy position, crazy solution, crazy position, crazy solution. Not necessarily, but it is like a magnet for, you see. So if there is more than one piece hanging, then you should look for some crazy possibilities. So I think the move, yes, g4. I just didn't realize immediately what is the point of g4, because after bishop g4, like, looks like we don't get anything, but we can take the rook on f8. And then after queen h4, queen f7 check. Queen f7 check, king g5. And then maybe just king h1, something like that. Because king on g5 will block the king, or the queen, I mean. I think the solution is g4, bishop g4, queen f8. If king h4, then queen takes h6, so it is even worse. So I think queen h4 must be played. Then queen f7, king g5, king h. We should play king h1 with the idea of rook g1. However, here, like, queen h5, maybe it's not so. Maybe everything is not so simple here. But okay, queen e7. Whatever black plays, we play rook g1. Then knight f3 is coming. I think should be good. Let's check. Knight f3 straight away. Rook e3 is also interesting. So king g1, king h1 is not the best move. Missed that, missed queen f5. Yeah, queen f5 is just a checkmate. So knight f3 is just checkmate in 2. Okay, so in this book, puzzles, they are just different. It can be a positional solution. It can be some tactics. So it can be anything. Just like puzzles from my course, anything, yeah. Just you have this position in your game and it's your move. I think I already know the solution. I mean, I really like queen d7, since I have already checked bishop d5. Bishop d5 is first wish, but you see the king is bishop takes h4. After gh4, it is just a perpetual check, while queen f7 here doesn't work. Queen f7, bishop f7, and black just gonna play something like bishop d8. The opposite color bishop endgame is drawish. So that's why I now, like, my second candidate is queen d7. And by the way, this is the same reason we can play b5 right now, because of bishop h4 and perpetual check. So that's why my move is queen d7. Next move, white is going to play bishop d5. Then b5 is coming. b5 can be played right now. b5, b6. Bishop h4 doesn't work, since queen from d7 is controlling the g4 square. So I think queen d7 and black should resign. Okay, g5 is the only try, maybe. Maybe, by the way, not a bad try. And then if bishop d5, then gh4, queen f7, king h6. But then I have queen f8, might be very dangerous for black. But what is also interesting, I think white can even play h5 here. Just, okay, take the pawn while b5 is coming. For example, queen h5, then just either bishop d5, just shutting down all play by black, or b5 first, and then still bishop d5, b6. Should be easy win for white. So my move is queen d7. Let's see. Yeah, the move is queen d7, g5, yes. And in the game it was ag5. The best move was bishop d5. Bishop d5. By the way, it's interesting if, what about just h5? So h5 is also good. h5 also gives advantage to white +2, but bishop d5 is stronger. Bishop g5 is just about winning the game. So bishop d5. Bishop d5. This is what I told you, yes? So probably it should be good for white, but I told you that just in case white can even play h5. So queen d7 is something we must play, and then we see what black is going to play. Okay, let's go to the next one. This book is actually not so interesting for me, but I think for low rated players, let's say under 2000 online, maybe even not online, but maybe 2000 FIDE, this book might be interesting, since it has like they have given positions to solve to different players, like something like 1500, 2000, 2700, and they wrote down their thinking process and what was the result. So not so interesting for me. For me, it's interesting just to have these positions to solve. I don't even compare my moves with Adam's move. Just I check if my solution is right or not, and that's it. But just I need some positions, some new positions. So that's why I'm fine about purchasing this book. The name of the book is Think Like a Super GM by Michael Adams and somebody else, Philip Hurtado. There are only 48 positions, so not much. Just the problem that the reason why there are only 48 positions, actually there are only 40 positions, 40 puzzles, and then they call it bonus puzzles from 41 to 48 bonus puzzles. So the point is that they give explanation. I mean, they give answers by 1400, they give answers by 2000, by some even maybe in some puzzles and by unrated players. So it's interesting, and it's a good approach, I think. However, you can compare your solution to other players, but I think it would be better to have 200 puzzles. This is something more difficult. More interesting. First move that came to my mind is d5. The problem is that, of course, we would like to castle. Unfortunately, you have no time to castle with d5 coming, because if you castle short, then a6, attacking the bishop, and you cannot even play bishop d3 or whatever because of knight takes d4. That's why it's either you play d5 right now and you win, maybe you win, or you don't play it at all and you don't win. The problem that if it was a tactical puzzle, then the solution for sure would be d5. But here this book consists of different positions. That's why, even though you would like to play d5, but it's not so clear. d5, bishop c3, and then, but you know, it's I think it is d5, yeah. But on the other hand, would I play this move in my game? That is a good question, because d5, bishop c3, what then, king e2, e takes d5, like maybe rook a c1 attacking the bishop first, then next move rook h e1 and having initiative. But the position is very complicated, so it's not so clear. But on the other hand, do you have anything else? So if it is not d5, then probably we would have to play something like maybe queen b3, just moving the queen away, and then after a6 playing bishop e2. But this is already something slow. Saying that it is d5, then it's kind of gambling. I don't really want to I mean, for this puzzle I would say d5, but in my game I'm not sure if I played d5. Queen b3. In such a position you should be careful not giving black chances to escape. Just rook fe1 is very nice move. Just rook f e1, kind of over defending the e5 pawn, and then playing f5 next move, or e6 looks good. What else? Okay, let's go in the order. Let's say I have there are no checks, there are no captures. Queen d5 is the only one, bet one. Any threats? Knight a6. Knight a6, just rook a8. I don't achieve anything, so easy to reject. So that's it. What about our pieces? Queen on f3 is well placed. Queen on f3 is well placed. The only idea is maybe queen h3, but like queen on f3 is well placed, right? The knight on c5 is perfectly placed. The only option, knight a6, doesn't give us anything. Rook on c1 is more or less well placed. Yeah, defending the knight, but maybe otherwise rook c1 would also be interesting, because rook on f1 can be useful on the f file. And the rook on f1. So if we talk about, yeah, by the way, the bishop on f2 is well placed. It doesn't make any sense to play bishop d4. The bishop on d4 would be a potential target, I think, rook b4, for example. So if we talk about pieces, then rook f e1 is a nice move, I think. If we think that our pieces are well placed and everything is fine, then it's time to push. And if we talk about pushing something, then it is f5. f5 looks very interesting, but it is a pawn sacrifice, so not so clear. g4, I don't really think it makes sense to play g4, because we can play f5 without g4, while g4 is opening the king. Maybe it's also possible to play h4 with the idea of h5. Just h4, h5. What about bishop g3, then f5? Bishop g3, maybe it is possible, but after bishop g3 it will be maybe rook b5 attacking the knight, and you would have to react to that. Maybe you can even play f5 there. So if you can, then f5, I mean bishop g3 is interesting. So okay, now resuming all what I said. f5 straight away is interesting, but not so clear. Maybe just making such a weird move as rook c1. I don't think we need to fix the a5 pawn. I mean, by playing a4 we only weaken in the b3 pawn, and I think like it looks more interesting to play in the center with f5 anyway, or e6, one of those moves. So that's why I'm like, bishop g3, by the way, is interesting move. Also, I mean, with the idea of f5. So it's anyway should be something, I think it should be something about f5. What is black going to play? Let's ask our, like, this question. Knight c7, probably knight c7 with the idea of knight e6. And like f5 looks really tempting, yeah? But you remember what happened to me when I when in the last few puzzles I made a tempting move. Bishop e1, but then rook b5, so not so, like, not a big achievement. Oh, by the way, maybe I just thought about one more option. King h1. Because you see, always in those lines there is a check on the diagonal, so maybe, like, who knows, tricky Michael Adams, maybe king h1. a3, you don't have time to do something slow here. I mean, you can make something slow like rook e1, but a3, just knight c7, bishop d4, knight e6, and that's it. This is a position where I would spend a lot of time looking for something that maybe doesn't exist. By the way, that's why, maybe by the way, this is a reason why queen h3 might be interesting. So knight c7, then knight d7. Let's play queen h3. Oh. So queen h3 is the best move. And I finally realized that queen h3 makes perfect sense because knight c7, knight d7. So queen h3 is not only about, it's not just about any, like, bishop h4. Bishop h4 maybe is not really about that, but very annoying about the d7 square. What is interesting, this is, I think, first position where he has, oh, here you can at least see this. This is number of the moves that he is analyzing. He is giving like some explanation, and you can see how many moves. This puzzle has 3 stars, however, it's easy one, I think. Just I mean, the solution is rook takes a5 probably. So if rook takes a5, then knight b3. So I think there is nothing to solve here. Yes, rook a5 is the solution. So let's go to the next one. Oh, pawn endgame. Pawn endgame should be, I need to change light to make it like a horror movie. I don't really want to solve this one, being honest with you, but let's try. Yeah, we can, I don't know, we can we can stuck here forever in this position, because pawn endgames, they are very difficult to calculate, they're difficult to understand. It can easily be something stupid like king c6. b4 is not a big deal if we play, of course, if we play b5, then yes, then b4 and it is draw. However, if we play king c6, then b4 we take, king b5, king b3, d3, and black is winning. So that's why it can easily be something something stupid like king c6, and then even like king b5 forcing white to play king d3 first, then playing king c5, then like b5, and some stupid things. But okay, let's say king c5. Let's say king c5. King d3. Now we have to play b5. Then white plays what? It's not. It's even not so clear. What if white plays something simple like king d2, let's say? If we play once again, if we play king c5, you see, if we play king c5, everything looks quite forced, right? That's why maybe I think the move is king c6. Yes, the solution. I think the solution is exactly king c6. So if we play king c5, king d3, everything is forced, right? If we play a4, then b4. We have to play b5, then white plays king d2. But if we had our pawn on b6 in that position, then we can play a4, ba4, king c4, and black is winning. That's why I think king c6 is the move. Let's check. So it is white to move, 5 stars. Obviously e1 is coming, we can't do anything about that. Maybe, for example, we need to play something weird like a4. That, by the way, would be funny if a4 is the solution. Yeah, exactly, Sleazy Machisi. Maybe we can wait, like playing a4 and giving, like maybe it will be useful. And also maybe we kind of asking, so you see, it's interesting, maybe a4 makes sense, yeah? Because if we play a4, if king goes to f7, it is 1 square away from the c file. So after king f7, I mean, just if we play king b6, then e1 takes, c6, king d8, king b7, bishop g3, and bishop is in time. However, bishop is in time, but that still should be winning. After king b6, black is gonna play king d7, pawn. That's the point. So now if you play c6, then king c8. And that's why the solution for sure is a4. It's like similar to the previous puzzle. When natural move was not the right one. So I think the solution is a4. And now the point is, if black plays bishop c3, then we can play king b7 and c6, c7. We don't have to play king b6. If bishop a3, then king b6 is attacking the a5 pawn. And overall, black needs to play bishop b4 to promote the e pawn. So after king b6, we kind of like maybe threatening to take on a5. And king f7, then just king b6. Whatever black plays, c6, promotion, and c7, and white wins. a4, perfect. Oh, king c7 is very nice, very smart. Wow. So white to move. Ivanisevic against Pragnanandha from 2021, when they both were young and weak. Ivanisevic was 25.59, Pragnanandha was 26.08. White to move and win. Seems like it's gonna be a hard one. We have, what options we have? f7 just doesn't work. g7, then bishop f7 doesn't look like something great. However, maybe g7, bishop f7, bishop g6 idea. Huh, that might be interesting. No, rook f1, just a1 queen, probably. No, I like one idea. I like idea of like maybe rook takes a2 to start with. Because if I play g7, king a1 might be an option. Maybe it doesn't work. But what if I play rook a2, king a2, g7, bishop f7, bishop g6. If bishop c4, then I play f7. Ah, rook f7, g8 queen, there is rook e7 check. Doesn't work. My idea doesn't work. That's why probably it should be rook takes a2. Kind of, let's say, decoying the king to a2. So rook a2, king a2. But what then? c5, I think, makes sense. Now bishop c4 is a threat. And if king goes b3, then maybe it's already about g7, bishop f7, and bishop g6. So this is my bet. I don't really want to spend more time on this position because it's very like can easily be anything. Rook a2. Ah, g7 first. Ah, bishop e4. And c5. Ah, c5 is also winning. Ah, not also, but c5 is actually winning. A5, I'm guessing a5. Yeah, a5. a5 looks like a good guess. Yeah, it looks like in style, in spirit of previous puzzles that we had in this endgame. Yeah, not in this endgame, but in this book, right? Especially since black is out of moves, he can only wait, passively wait. The point is that we promote right now, then f8, rook f8, king e6, king g7, king f5, king h6, and then a5. So that's why it makes perfect sense to play a5. Black can't really do anything, and then we promote f8. Doesn't matter what they play, king e6, king g7, king f5, and king h6. Yeah, a5, this is a simple one, I think, for 3 stars. Okay, 3 stars, but anyway, simple one. Just an easy one in the end, not putting it on the board. I think the solution is quite simple. Yes, this is 1 star. So the last puzzle for today for you guys, black to move and win, 1 star. Yeah, so here I think it's quite obvious, just e4, yeah, e4, queen f2, king h1, just taking the pawn, and that's it. Thank you everybody for joining, and see you next Saturday. It will be the same.